With the most recent job reports on the unemployment rate, the Fed pretty much show what everyone already knew about what would happen to XRP. If you own XRP, I have some very important news for you. Based on what the Fed has said about the data we're showing you today, we have a very good idea of where the Fed is going. I think what I'm going to say is supported by a lot more to talk about. We should start by talking about the movie's main subject, which is the US jobless rate. The rate of people without jobs shows a very clear trend. Things are really getting worse. There's no doubt that more and more people are saying they had bad sales. The job market is getting worse and worse because of this. First, you can see that in July, 11% of small businesses said that poor sales were their biggest issue. The rate is the highest it has been since the 2020 pandemic. In the last 7 months, the share has grown by 2 times. This has also been a sign that unemployment was going to rise in the past. It also means that the unemployment rate could rise above 5% in the coming months. 62 million Americans, or 64.9% of all workers, are hired by small businesses. I'm giving this a lot of thought today because I think you remember how the markets reacted to all the rate cuts around this time in 2020. Everything was crazy. In the end, the rates did go back up. The unemployment rate went back down its hair. That's really cool. A lot of you had the best crypto bull run in 2021. Everyone who wasn't there knows what that bull run was. Crazy. Altcoins went up 100 times and people made a lot of money. It looked like every other day. It was crazy. Yes, there was another event like this after the financial collapse in 2010. At that time, the Federal Reserve had a similar approach to money. The main goal of the Federal Reserve is always to lower unemployment and keep inflation in check. Those are their 2 main jobs. So they need to do something if job data shows that unemployment is going up. They need to act right away. Besides that, you can see that all types of businesses, big and small, had record high sales in 2022. At that point in time, business was going well for everyone. Based on what the Fed in the past, I wanted to ask Rock what the Fed will do if both inflation and unemployment rise at the same time. Why? The PPI inflation rate is going up a lot, as I just showed you. Wait a minute, the Fed doesn't do anything when they see that prices are going up a lot of the time to drop rates. But they have to make a very tough choice when there is stagflation, which means prices are going up while the job market gets worse and unemployment is going up, right? You'll have to give up one of them. If we let unemployment get worse, maybe inflation will start to go down. If we don't let it go down, rates will stay the same. The Fed has a tough choice to make. Lucky for us, we have a lot of information and past decisions made by Jerome Powell and other Federal Reserves that can help us decide what to do. This shows what happens when the job market drops. When the economy is weaker, like when unemployment goes up, the Federal Reserve often drops interest rates to get things moving again. If there is inflation, it's usually because of things like tariffs, trouble in the supply chain, or higher prices for goods. To keep prices stable, the Federal Reserve will keep interest rates the same or even raise them. The amount of inflation that is expected in 2025 has gone from 2.3% to 2.7%. Based on new information, it's called stagflation when both unemployment and prices are going up at the same time. It is very hard to handle monetary policy because of this. In the past, like in the 1970s, it was hard for the Fed to handle both at the same time. The Federal Reserve may think that inflation is the biggest threat, so they may decide to keep rates the same or even raise them. Rate drops are more likely to happen if, on the other hand, unemployment rises. That what the Fed does next will depend on which measure shows that either unemployment or inflation is getting worse faster. PPI inflation is going up and CPI inflation is staying the same based on what I just told you about the economy. Also, unemployment is going up, which is also known as stagflation. How likely is it that the Fed will lower rates? So Grok says there is a 70% to 90% chance that the Federal Reserve will lower rates when both inflation and unemployment are going up. 5 to 6 times before the end of the year, the Fed is likely to cut rates, according to Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, and JP Morgan. Goldman Sachs is pretty sure that this will happen in September, October, November. In December, there will be a lot of rate cuts, maybe even 2, 3, or 2 basis points all at once a month, which is crazy, but we'll see what happens. Besides that, there are many other events happening that are clearly affecting the markets and will affect the price of XRP as well. The price of XRP will go up in a few months because interest rates are going down and there's more money in the market. I hope you all already knew this. That's how things work. Okay, that's just the 90% link between the prices of digital assets and times when the economy is doing well. You should know that the Richmond Fed Industrial Index drops by 20 points in July. This is the second lowest level ever since the flu outbreak in 2020. Again, it looks a lot like the early years. When the government sees this information, they surely think small and medium-sized businesses in the U.S. need help. Not as many jobs are open as before. People are thinking about all of these things. You might wonder why there is a mark. Things are crazy now. How come crypto longs worth 100 million are being sold in just 1 hour? There are a lot of things going on, but you should keep an eye on what the smart money or big money in institutional capital does. That Michael Saylor just bought is worth $50 million. This is after the big dump of the day. This chart shows that long contracts worth more than 100 million were closed during this time. Things are going back to being straight. The markets are being watched by big investors right now because they see a chance to get out of many long positions. I'm going to buy these dips now. Those are my a few signs to buy. They're likely going to be used tomorrow. Thanks a lot for that. This is probably what we'll see a lot of, right? There will be a lot of big backers. They're going to shut down. One way they plan to get a good buy at the bottom is to get rid of a lot of long bets. This is called a liquidity sweep, a lot like what Michael Saylor did right now after getting a huge amount of money. Then will, like it didn't happen, shoot back up. This has happened a lot of times, and the way it always goes is the same. Things are the way they are. Prices could go down a little, but I'll buy that drop again. Until there are more shorts than longs, I will always buy when the price goes down. Then I knew they were going to sell people in the market going up or down. Okay, that means we need to get ready. That's what I am getting ready for. I also think that rates will go down at least once this year, at least one, and I believe there's a good chance of 3 as well. Rates might go down in September, but that hasn't been proven yet. I think it's less likely that rates will be lowered in September and more likely that they will be lowered in October. This is because I really believe that the unemployment rate will keep going up if nothing is done. If inflation gets too high and unemployment keeps going up, the Fed will have to lower interest rates. I also think this is good for the Bitcoin market, especially in the US. I'm going to tell you everything I trade and do. It should be clear to you guys what I'm doing. Take a look at what I do. Anyone can join my Discord for free. There are 2 partner swaps I'd like you to join. Make a deposit and fill out this short form with your details. That's it, guys. The link to Crypto Crusaders is below. Click it to join.